And we're back. Boom, boom. Oi, oi. Today, we're talking about adventure. Adventure. Are you an adventurer? Do you have the spirit of adventure? Do you have what it takes? Do you feel like you want to go on some great adventure, like crossing the vast, empty desert on a bicycle with no brakes, wearing scuba gear? Or maybe you feel that you want to climb to the top of some great mountain wearing your pajamas, surviving only on fruitcake. I was the first to the top of Everest, pajamas and fruitcake. What a thing to do. Or just going, for example, to Papua New Guinea, where everything is scary. Papua New Guinea, they have spiders the size of my hand, rats the size of cats, everything in Papua New Guinea. Terrifying. So, maybe you, one day, want to be a great adventurer. Lots about that stuff on today's website. Lots of famous adventurers. I think I'm going to put a few adventure movies up as well. Extra readings. Lots of good stuff up there. Usually, of course, we think of adventurers in history as men with huge beards. You know, if you wanted to be an adventurer, first of all, you needed a huge beard. That was the first thing on the list, you know. Water, yes. Supplies, yes. Lots and lots of people to carry my stuff, yes. Lots of horses to carry my stuff, yes. Huge beard, yes. Okay, ready to go. But not all adventurers were men. There was one called Isabella Bird, for example. She's kind of famous. She did lots and lots of mad, crazy adventurer things. And she actually visited Japan in 1878. There's an article that you can read on the website about her. And in 1878, if you came to Japan, you said, oh, Tokyo, Yokohama, stop. If you're a foreigner, you can't go out anywhere else. Bit like now. And you can't go out. Can't go to Hakone, can't go to Shona. But anyway, Isabella Bird came to Yokohama, Tokyo, but somehow she managed to go all over the place. She walked all over the place, and she wrote about it in a book. And she was sort of one of the first people, a woman to go all over, Western woman, of course, to go all over Japan. But there were women in Japan before Isabella Bird, of course. Yeah, so read about her. She's on the website. She's kind of famous, but should be more famous, I think. You know, one of those people who you read about them and say, why haven't I heard of this person before? And we're going to read today from, again, the British Council. Thank you. And we're going to read about amazing adventures. Okay. And then at the end of this reading, when I finish blabbing on, I'm going to give you a little writing challenge to do. And, well, let's see where today's adventures take us. All right, here's the reading. You probably have it, or you can just sit there comfortably and listen. From walking along the entire Amazon River to skiing to the South Pole, check out some of the 21st century's most amazing adventurers. Amazing adventurers. Have you ever dreamt of climbing Mount Everest in your pajamas with fruitcake? Or walking to the South Pole? If so, you're not alone. Every year, thousands of people try to climb the world's highest mountains or walk across continents. Unlike the explorers of the past who used maps and compasses, today's adventurers travel with modern technology like GPS and satellite phones. Many adventurers are nature lovers who use their travels to help raise awareness about a range of environmental issues, while others are keen to help people in need and raise money for charities. Let's take a look at some of the 21st century's greatest adventurers. First up, Amazon adventurer. Ed Stafford from the UK is the first person to walk the length of the Amazon River. He started by a small stream in the Andes Mountains of Peru and arrived at the river's mouth in Brazil 2 years and 4 months later, having walked 6,000 kilometers. The Amazon rainforest is home to poisonous snakes, crocodiles, jaguars, so Ed was in constant danger. Luckily, he survived with nothing worse than a few thousand mosquito and ant bites. On his trip, Ed had to find food to eat every day. A lot of the time, the fruit, nuts, and fish he ate were hard to find, and he often felt weak and exhausted. Ed's walk would have been impossible without technology. He used a radio to ask the people of the rainforest for food and for permission to cross their land. Many of them came to meet him and helped guide him through the most difficult terrain. As he walked, Ed wrote a blog recording his day-to-day experiences. He used the media interest in his trip to protest about the destruction of the rainforest and raise money for environmental and children's charities in Brazil and Peru. Fantastic story. Actually, a couple of years ago, I read a fantastic book. It's called The Lost City of Zed. I almost said American, Z. The Lost City of Zed. And it's about a British explorer who goes into the Amazon. And there's a movie. I'll see if I can put that up as a suggestion for you while you're doing your long quarantine. Pretty good stuff. Next one, a mountain climber. Over 4,000 climbers aged from 13 to 80 have been to the top of Everest. Though climbing high mountains in freezing conditions and violent storms is extremely dangerous, the world's best climbers now look for new challenges. Gerlina Kaltenbrunner from Austria fell in love with mountain climbing as a teenager. When she left school, she worked as a nurse, but kept climbing in her free time. Having climbed Everest, she decided to climb all 14 of the world's 8,000-meter peaks. To increase the challenge, Gerlinda climbs without using oxygen tanks. This is risky as low oxygen levels at the top of mountains can affect the brain and the body function. Gerlinda uses her fame as a climber to support a charity for poor children and orphans in Nepal. Next one. Hungry for adventure. Not content with one amazing trip, some of today's adventurers go from challenge to challenge. Megan McGrath from Canada has climbed the highest mountain on each continent, ridden a bike across Canada, and run a long-distance race in the Sahara Desert in 45-degree heat. But perhaps the most remarkable journey was a skiing trip to the South Pole. On the first day, she fell into a glacier and had to be rescued. Many of us would have given up at that point. But Megan decided to carry on. She reached the South Pole 40 days later, having pulled a sledge with a tent and all her food behind her through freezing conditions and ice storms. Eric Vehemeyer from the United States is another multi-adventurer. He's ridden a bike through the deserts of Morocco, kayaked through the Grand Canyon, and climbed Mount Everest. Amazingly, Eric has been blind since the age of 13. Apart from his travels, he tries to encourage people with disabilities to live active lives and takes groups of young blind people on climbing expeditions. Where next? Despite new technologies, crossing continents and climbing mountains still has many risks. Preparation and fitness training are absolutely essential. But if you have a sense of adventure, there are endless possibilities and still hundreds of unclimbed peaks in the Andes and the Himalayas. Wow. Well, while you're sitting there at home, maybe you can think of some wonderful adventure that you would like to do. Not all of us are brave enough to go to the top of a mountain. Not all of us, want to go into a jungle full of creepy, crawly things. But there are lots of adventures. Space travel, going deep under the ground, going deep into the oceans, going across oceans. Many, many things. Many of them very exciting, very interesting, very challenging. What I want to hear from you, I want you to think about an adventure that you would like to do. I'd like you to tell me what you'd like to do. I'd like you to research a little bit about it and look on the internet, find some adventures or some adventures that haven't been done yet. I'll give you some ideas on the website, or think of some ideas yourself. And then write them down, send them in. Look forward to reading them. I'll see you too on Zoom. So thank you very much. Boom, boom, and bye-bye.